What's up, y'all? Um, so the status of the list videos, I'm gonna still do them, but I'm probably just not gonna do them every Monday. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do them every other Monday. So I'm gonna start fresh for sure next Monday, but they're gonna be every other week. I can't commit to like every week, at least for the time being. Right now, so I'm gonna just do every other Monday, and I'm still gonna be doing videos on Monday. That's just the other Monday will either be like a review or it will be me talking about something else, but they're not gonna be related to the list. So next Monday, I will be doing. I just it was crazy schedule, and I also wanted to let the Thanksgiving video kind of breathe. So I figured, it was a new movie review, new movie, yes, a review of a new movie. So I figured, why not let that kind of go. But today, yes, this movie, I'm not kidding you. The title is real. It is called Frankenhooker. And it basically, think Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but with a hooker. So the premise is Jeffrey. He's he's into like biomechanic. He basically knows how to deal with bodies and all that. And he's in love with his girlfriend. Fuck, I'll be honest, I do not really remember the main girl. The main chick who ends up becoming Frankenhooker. And what ends up happening is his dad buys him a Christmas gift, a birthday present. I think it was a birthday present. And it's a automatic lawnmower, which goes off and ends up killing his girlfriend. So he ends up like kind of, going crazy, even having dates with like body parts. And I'll admit, this movie is out there, but I had fun with it. It knows what it is. It's a trauma film. So that's kind of what I come to expect with those movies. They know what they are. So I'm not expecting like fucking cinema, It was entertaining. Like the moment he made her into the hooker, it's kind of funny. And then the scenes where she goes off, there's a scene where she tries to hook up with a John, but he ends up getting blown up because of the electricity. And even the scene where they use the different parts of the prostitutes, and they end up using crack, he makes a thing called super crack, and they all end up smoking it, which everyone then blows up. He then uses the body parts to put them all back. It's fucking hilarious, man. It's just such a fucking out there movie that the scene where the dealer, I'm just gonna call him, who his character is just there to be a douchebag. That's it. The scene where the head flies at him is one of the funniest things, though. I'm not gonna lie, that was fucking hilarious. I might use that as the thumbnail. But yeah, this is a real fucking movie. So, and the ending, the movie actually isn't paced pretty bad. I mean, she goes out and hooks up with Johns, and then her dealer, in a fit of rage, nearly knocks her head off because he's trying to force her to come back with him, but obviously she can't respond because she can only say she can't really talk besides certain words. So Jeffrey tries to take her back to his house, in which she then starts actually kind of gaining her memory back, and then obviously freaks out because she's on a different body. The dealer then, the ending, he sneaks in and literally decapitates Jeffrey. It's like, what the fuck? I remember watching this because this was the first time I watched it. I watched this movie like maybe 2-3 months ago, and man, I was so crazy. I was surprised at this ending. And then, yeah, all the body parts come together that, that Jeffrey experimented on and pretty much kills the dealer. And then, yeah, this is a fucking movie. And the ending is one of the funniest things because they end up rebuilding Ben, but I think, actually, no, Ben is the main character. Jeffrey's the fucking douchey dealer, or pimp, whatever you want to call him. So they end up basically rebuilding Ben, but with the female part, so he has like tits, and one of the lines is like, "I don't have my Johnson." This is a funny movie. Like, obviously, it's not objectively good in any way. but it is a fucking funny as fuck movie. And I have more fun reviewing movies like this, so I will definitely try to find more because there are definitely some out there. I mean, the fucking title, Frankenhooker. I mean, come on, you can't get better. I don't even really know what prompted me to even watch that the first time. I think it may have been I saw someone review it, or I just the name. No, I think I remember. I was searching through Tubi, and then the fucking title just caught me. It was like Frankenhooker. Like, okay, I gotta watch this. So yeah, obviously it's objectively not good. So if I were to rate it, I don't normally do the whole separation of ratings, but obviously if I'm being honest and objective, it is probably a 4. But if I'm being like in terms of entertainment, I honestly might give this like a 7. I had fun with it. The fact that it knows what it is, I love some of the lines, and obviously there's a lot of titty in this movie. So I can almost overlook some of the very bad lines. And then, I mean, there's a thing called super crack. Sorry about that. It's downstairs TV. Um, but anyway, I was not expecting that scene. I mean, super cocaine, guys. You can't go wrong with that. That's what, like, going in a movie like this, it's gonna be out there. So I don't know if I recommend it in that sense, but if I would recommend if you just want to have like a laugh and just kind of just be out there and just understand if you know what you're gonna get with this kind of movie, you know. But anyway, tomorrow I was gonna originally do The Prowler, but since because I watched Thanksgiving the other day, I want to review this movie called Blood Rage because I was looking up like other Thanksgiving horror movies, and one I found, and I think I did mention it in the Thanksgiving video the other day. It's called Blood Rage. So I want to. I figured it makes more sense since it's the day before Thanksgiving. I do want to get to The Prowler though, because I actually think that's a really good underrated horror movie from the '80s. So I'll be doing that one next Wednesday for sure. But tomorrow I will be doing Blood Rage. I've never seen it, so this is gonna be a first time watch for me. I think I looked at what the plot is. It's basically about a killer during Thanksgiving. So that's all I know. It's a killer during Thanksgiving. It's set in the 80s. I think it was like 81 when it came out. So I'm gonna check it out. This could go either way. I who knows? I'm very easy to please when it comes to like slashers. So if you can just give me a simple premise and it be all right, I can probably overlook some of the plot. So I'll be watching that tomorrow. Thursday, I'll be reviewing Annabelle Creation. Also tomorrow, I actually might, if I have time, I want to get to First Class. I'll either review it, one of two things. I'll either review First Class for sure. I was supposed to do it Sunday. I just couldn't. I was tired Sunday night after and I also didn't realize how long, like, I talked about Thanksgiving for like 50 minutes almost, so that's also why. But, so I'll be doing First Class either tomorrow or Thursday along with Annabelle Creation. So I'll still be doing either 2 videos tomorrow or 2 videos Thursday. And then Friday, I'm for sure going to do X-Men Days of Future Past Rogue Cut. And then Saturday or Sunday, I saw this story about Melissa Barrera, who she's the main chick in the newer Scream movies. She was fired from the new one that's coming out because I guess she said something about Palestine. And I'm not going to actually get into that because I obviously am not a political channel like that. I don't touch on shit like that. But I do want to talk about more just like the whole kind of cancel culture and all that, and give my quick thoughts on it. And figure since it's Scream, she's tangentially tied to Scream, why not talk about it? So I don't actually, I guess really quick, I'll get into my thoughts before we get into Frankenhooker. I don't actually think she deserves to be fired. Even if I don't necessarily agree with what she said, I don't think she should have been fired. But the problem is, it's this culture that side, the far left, have made, where y'all were cool with when Gina got fired or when um, Roseanne got fired because, oh, they were quote unquote bigoted, so it's okay. But with her, it's such a big deal that no, she just had a different opinion. I actually agree with that on principle. But, and I'll talk about that more on Saturday or Sunday. It's going to be one of those. Um, I also will be seeing Thanksgiving a second time. So maybe I'm not gonna do a video, but I'll probably in that video that I just mentioned give a quick like, oh, what do I think of it? After a second viewing kind of thing. So, but all right, guys, let's get into Frankenhooker. So we meet who's he's basically really into science and into electricity and all this shit. He's like the weird nerd. I'll actually be honest, he's not a bad actor. Like for a movie like this and this kind, he's not the worst actor in it. His mom was. My God. It was so weird. It reminded me of like the mom in Sleepaway Camp, just very weird and but he and his girlfriend are having a party, and I think because it was his birthday, Ben's dad gives him an automatic lawnmower, and it ends up going off and accidentally killing his girlfriend. And I'll admit, like, they don't hold back on the gore. Like, you see body part, like when body parts fly and shit, they fly. So, she ends up getting killed, and obviously he's depressed, and even have the scenes where he's having dinner with the body parts. Some of the weirdest shit, but it's fucking hilarious. So he decides to put her back together, kind of like, Frankenstein style, looking for the perfect prostitute to make, like, for the perfect body. And man, the scene when he poses as a doctor, and this is where we see Jeffrey, basically the abusive dealer. He's like the pimp, basically. And the scene when I'm not gonna lie, the scene when he goes into the hotel is one of the funniest things. That whole sequence was fucking out there. Granted, we saw some titties, so it's the 80s, so that's always good. Actually, no, I think this movie was in like 90. I think if I looked it up, I think it was like 90. It was 89 or 90, something like that. And this is where they started smoking this thing he made. It basically seemingly looks like crack, but it's actually not. It's basically like some like electricity shit that will blow you up. But they all start smoking it, and then Jeffrey comes in, and everybody just starts blowing up. And this is where we get one of my fucking. When I first watched this, I used the GIF of this when the one of their heads flies off. It looks so bad too. It looks so horrible. I love how bad it looked. Like I love how low budget this is. So it ends up going wrong. But he ends up taking a lot of the body parts, puts them all together, and this is where Frankenhooker's born. And my God, dude. It's like it pretty much is supposed to be Frankenstein, but it's very, very, very. I'm saying very a lot. Very loosely based, because they almost just kind of take the premise, but obviously they don't go into the story because she just kind of goes out she can't say more than like a couple of words that the other women, when they were alive, were saying. And also, like, sorry. But anyway, she ends up breaking out, and yeah, she just kind of starts fucking random people, and because of the electricity, I'll admit, that sequence, the one guy, when he tries to get in, he was like fucking, he was acting his ass off. You could tell, like, he's He's like, I'm gonna make the most out of this scene, and that's what he did. And I'll admit, he was having fun with it. I'll admit, he was like probably my VIP of the movie, just in terms of how funny he was. Like, he was just into it. Like, he was just ready to have sex. It was like one of the funniest things. Um, she then goes to a bar while Ben, is looking around for her. And yeah, they end up going to like it's basically a strip club. You have like this crazy religious dude like shaming everyone going. I will say this about trauma films. I love how much everybody like, even if it's a bad movie, they at least try to act their ass off and put some compared to even some movies, other bad movies where the acting is just bad, but they just read it all monotone. They're at least all fucking coked out. I do think it's at least funny to watch in that sense. And okay, maybe I'm not going to use the word acting their ass off because it's not really acting, but I love how just amped and crazy they act, and I think that's what makes it funny. So, Ben ends up finding Frankenhooker, who gets confronted by Jeffrey because, he thinks she's one of his hoes. And he ends up punching her, but her head flies off. And Ben, the movie is short. Like, it goes. Like I'm kidding you, not kidding you. Like, the way I'm describing it, yeah, this video is probably be a little bit shorter because just, there's not a lot. Like, there's not a lot of filler. I guess in that sense, it's a good thing, but, like, yeah, like, pretty much, yeah, she escapes, fucks some people, they die. She goes to the bar, and then, yeah, he takes her back to his house. Jeffrey follows them. He breaks in. Well, Ben tries to rebuild. And before that, we get his girlfriend actually starts remembering and realizes that she was dead, and Ben had to tell her that, how to use different body parts. Obviously she freaks out initially. And while this happens, Jeffrey breaks in and decapitates Ben. I'm not kidding you. When I first watched this, I was like, what the I was not ready for that. I wasn't ready for him to just get decapitated. Because Jeffrey just sneaks up on him and just Jason style decapitates him. And then tries to take the hooker back with him. He thinks he owns her. And then the body parts, man, I will say, the practical work, even though they looked, it was nightmare. It was like shit you could see in like a Tool music video. But it was like, even how weird it was, I did like the use of practical effects, even though there was a thing that had like, it was a boob, it was like the mouth was on the top and then it was boobs under. It was fucking weird. It was like, but the practical work was weird. And yeah, so they end up dragging. There was a lot of Ben's other experiments basically come to life and kill essentially Jeffrey, and basically his girlfriend ends up using the body parts, and basically, and this ending is one of the most funniest endings because they rebuild Ben, but he's on a female's body, so he even mentions the line, "Mike Johnson's gone." It's one of the most funny scenes ever. I actually thought it was pretty funny. So I had fun with this movie. It's not objectively good. So like, if I really were grading it on a real scale, it'd be like a 3. No, okay, not that low. Like a 4, probably. You know what? I'll be nice 5. I like, it's not objectively good, but I can have fun with this fucking movie. Like, it's entertaining. The entertainment factor is like a 7 or an 8 for me. In terms of just I was thoroughly entertained. I mean, if you can keep me entertained, I'm not saying I'm gonna just sit down and be watching this movie like that, but I could watch it again if I really wanted to. If I wanted to watch it with a friend and so, but I'm gonna show you this kind of out there movie. I mean, it's better than Cruel Jaws. At least this was a movie. Not a good movie, but at least this was a movie. it also wasn't a blatant ripoff. Like like yeah, it's based off Frankenstein, but it's not a ripoff of the movie or even the book at all. It's way different. Oh yeah, guys, I want to start doing more movies like this. So maybe Tuesdays I might make these. I don't have a name for it yet, but like bad movie Tuesdays or some shit like that. And when I mean bad shit like this, or like Jack Frost, which even though I've already reviewed it, well, like movies like that, Cruel Jaws, this movie. Maybe I'll make Tuesdays that. So next Tuesday I'll find something. There's a lot of them on Tubi, so maybe we'll do that. So, but anyway, tomorrow I will be reviewing. Actually, you know what? Before I get into that, I think I know what I'm gonna do next Tuesday. This is one I haven't watched all the way, but all of it. Like I've seen a person review it, but I've never actually watched the whole thing. There's a movie called Evil Bong, and it's like an entire franchise. But I'm not gonna do the entire franchise. I might just do like one or two of them, maybe, because I know there's like a bunch of them. But I do want to review at least the first one. Maybe I'll review the first one and then I'll eventually do two. But I do want to do other movies. But there's literally a movie called Evil Bong, and I'm not kidding you. It's out there about like an alien, even though it looks more like a hookah than like a bong like this. But just the name, Evil Bong. So yeah, I might be reviewing that next Tuesday. So we have something for Tuesday. But anyway, so tomorrow I will be doing reviewing a movie called Blood Rage. I'm actually gonna probably watch it tonight. I'm assuming it's an old 80s slasher, so it could be on Tubi. So I might check that out. Since it's not tomorrow, but it's the day before Thanksgiving. So why not review a movie like that? I just think it makes sense. So I hope it's good. Because I just feel like there's like a lack of Thanksgiving horror until the new Thanksgiving movie. Because up until that point, the only one I knew of was Thanksgiving, and that's not a really good example. Like I can have fun with that movie as a meme, but it's not a good movie. So it's like to finally have a definitive Thanksgiving movie. But then also I found out there's some other ones. There's one called Blood Rage. I'm trying to think of the other one. Home Sweet Home. Which apparently that's another one. So maybe not next Wednesday because I'm already gonna do the Prowler, but maybe either Wednesday or another day next week I might look into reviewing that one. Since even though it'll be a little bit after Thanksgiving, why not? Actually, you know what? I might do that one like on Saturday. I might do that Melissa Barrera video on Saturday, and then maybe we'll do that one on Sunday. I'll review Home Sweet Home. I'll check that out. Why not? I normally don't do reviews on Sunday unless it's like a newer movie. But fuck it. I'll review that one Sunday since I want to do that one close to like Thanksgiving week at least. So, but tomorrow I'm going to check out Blood Rage. It's going to be a first watch for me. I've never even fucking heard of it until the other day. So, anyway, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. And I will be doing a video on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna see how Thursday goes because there's a chance I might just watch Annabelle 2 tomorrow and then just review it in the day. Just because it's Thanksgiving, I figure, even though I'm personally not gonna be doing anything crazy, I just figure why not still do it during the day instead of trying to do it at night. Because I'm not gonna be here, I'm gonna be at mom's, so I'm gonna be outside, and there's probably gonna be a lot of noise at night. So I figure I want to try to do it during the day. So anyway, so that's just all I want to talk about that. But anyway, Frankenhooker, it's cinema. Fucking watch it. But for real, it's a bad movie, but you'll have fun with it. It's like, that term, so bad it's good. It's kind of like that. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.